All right, let's talk about the fight that we're calling this weekend. Alexis Rocha, George Ashe, YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. That's a fight that's going to air on DAZN. Rocha is an interesting prospect / contender. It was just back in 2020 that he lost his first fight, a decision defeat to Rashidi Ellis. A legitimate loss. Ellis won that fight clean. Rocha, though, has come back. He's won 5 fights in a row. He's climbed the rankings. He ranks, I believe, 3rd in, I want to say, the WBO rankings. He's in the top 15 in the WBA. He's got some momentum right now behind his career. Let's start here. The fighter we're going to see on Saturday, how different is he from the fighter we saw lose to Rashidi Ellis? Have you seen improvements from Alexis Rocha over the last 2.5 years?
Stylistically, I think we have the same fighter. I mean, he had his moments against Ellis. It's just Ellis was a very special talent, very fast, and you have to have a game plan against a fighter like Ellis. You can't just do what you did in your past fights that were successful. So he came up short with Ellis. Okay, no shame there. Now he has 5 straight wins, a couple by knockout, and he's been doing it with smart pressure, not neglecting the jab. Once he's in the inside, he's not just loading up with the same punch. He's throwing right hooks, right uppercuts, and then digging down to the body, cutting off the ring a little bit more. But that's not stylistically that he changed. It's just now he has confidence. When you come up short, you realize, okay, where did I come up short? I didn't cut off the ring against Ellis. I didn't throw enough punches. I didn't throw enough combinations. I let him slip out to the left. I need to throw more left hands that way and keep him here. More body shots. These are things that you just, you register in your next fight. You implement that. That's what he did. So he's been the goods. Even as an amateur, he's been the goods. He's one of these talented, gifted fighters. He just came up short against an exceptional athletic talent, undefeated in Ellis. No shame there. And that's the main thing that I want to touch on here. Rocha is the same fighter he was when he lost to Ellis, but he's not the same man, if that makes sense. Anybody else would have taken that loss, and they would have felt sorry for themselves. I shouldn't have lost that way. I shouldn't have came up short, before a championship. I lost my 0. Rocha is happy that he lost that undefeated 0. He didn't like the pressure of it, and he's only gotten better. So that L on his record is for learning instead of losing. That's how that's character for you. That's mentality. That's maturity. That's the type of mentality you have to get back to a championship, or get to a championship when you've come up short getting to a championship.
What I like about Rocha, to your point, is he did just kind of pick himself back up and get back into the mix. He fought, I think, 8 months after that loss to Rashidi Ellis, and he has fought 5 times already since that defeat, whereas Ellis, he's only had 2 fights. He had 1 round in a fight like a year or so ago, and then he had that recent defeat on the PBC card. And inactivity kills a fighter, and Alexis Rocha has been active, and I think he's benefited greatly from that. So he's now in a position, Sergio, where in the next year or so, he's probably going to get a world title opportunity. Are we looking at a world champion in Alexis Rocha?
Yes. He has the amateur pedigree. He has the right promoter. He has the right matchmakers, the right team, the right coach, and Hector Lopez. And he comes from a boxing family. His younger brother, Ronnie Rios, title challenger. He has all the things that you need to check to be a world champion, and he still has the hunger. He still has the youth, and he's getting better. So, yes, and like you like to say, once those welterweight belts fracture, once they are ripped from the hands of Spence and Crawford, which is very soon, guys like Boots Ennis are going to be fighting for him. Virgil Ortiz, and guess who else is in line? Alexis Rocha. If Conor Benn gets his stuff together, I could see him getting a crack at a welterweight
And those
title.
belts may have already fractured at this point. Spence, in his next fight, is going to fight at 154 pounds. I just have a hard time seeing a fighter like him come back to 147 to defend his titles against like a Boots Ennis or a Virgil Ortiz.
Dude,
don't think
Rocha?
No, I'm saying Spence coming back down.
No way, but Rocha will.
But this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm getting to. So, Boots Ennis has a belt at 147 right now. It's an interim title. I expect that title to become a full title in the next 6 months. You've got the Ortiz-Stanionis fight that's going to happen in late April. I expect the winner of that fight to be the full title holder. You know what I'd like to see, Sergio? I'd like to see Rocha fight on the undercard of Stanionis versus Ortiz. I'd like to see him be the co-main event of that fight against a credible former world title holder, former world title challenger, because that's kind of a hole in his resume right now. It's not for lack of trying. You know, as often happens with young fighters, Rocha's team, Golden Boy, they have tried to make a more significant fight for him. Guys just aren't all that interested in getting in the ring, but he needs that former title holder on his resume. I'd like to see him get that fight in April on the undercard of that Ortiz fight. And if Ortiz comes out of it, and that's no easy task, but if Ortiz comes out of that, and if Rocha comes out of that, suddenly Golden Boy has on their hands an easy-to-make world title fight. You can do Ortiz against Rocha either in Texas or in Southern California. You can do it in some good places that will sell tickets, and that to me is a great fight. I don't know if Rocha can win that fight because Ortiz is a beast, but that right now, with both those guys in their mid-20s, that's a great fight.
Great fight, but a couple of things stand out. One, Rocha already got the limelight of being the headliner. He did it against Blair Cobbs, and now he's going to get it in his next fight this Saturday. So once you're the headliner, you don't want to relegate yourself to be the co-main
but doesn't
event.
he... Hold on.
Don't interrupt me, Mannix. I'm your guest.
I'm getting to the point, though. Doesn't he strike you, though, as a guy...
Yes, and that's what I was about to say.
All
that's where character comes in. That's where his team comes in. That's where Hector Lopez comes in. That's where the Golden Boy matchmakers come in. That's where the promoter comes in. That's where he says, I don't care. I just want to fight. Just like he did after his loss, he picked himself up by his bootstraps and he said, I'm just going to fight whoever they put in front of me. Joe Schmo, I don't care. I'm knocking him out. And he's gone through 5, and now he has this opportunity where he's headlining again. He's the type of guy that would swallow his pride, because pride means nothing in boxing, swallow his pride just to get to the goal. And the goal is these names that we just mentioned. So if it means fighting on a popular undercard, and Virgil Ortiz Jr. is not a nationwide popular fighter, but he is in Texas. And he has a lot of eyeballs on him. He has that 100% knockout ratio. If you can be the co-main event to that and have a knockout, an impressive win, and the winner of that fight has an impressive win, there it is. That is how you promote a fight. That's how you keep yourself in the loop instead of being prideful and saying, nah, I'm a main event guy. I'll wait and be inactive.
Rocha strikes me as someone who's opportunistic. You know, you go back to the fight in the spring where Ortiz dropped out against Michael
Use another
Kinson.
word. Opportunistic means a little bit too
It's not negative.
bougie.
No,
No, it is.
It's
I
not.
think he's hungry.
No,
That's a
but
big
he knows
difference.
he
Hungry
knows
and opportunistic.
Listen, hear me out. He senses when an opportunity is in front of him. Like when he got bumped up to the main event to fight Blair Cobbs back in the spring, he knew that was a big moment. He went out, fought brilliantly, put together the biggest win of his career on the biggest stage. This fight
That was confidence and the right place at the right time.
But this fight coming up this weekend, this wasn't Alexis Rocha's date. This was Ryan Garcia's date. Golden Boy calls him 5 weeks ago and says, hey, we can do a fight for you on 128. He says, yes, give me whoever you got. It was originally Anthony Young, fine fighter coming off that win against Saddam Ali a couple of years ago. Young drops out. All of a sudden, you got George Ashe. Rocha knows the value of staying busy and staying front and center in front of people and moving up the rankings as well. So that's a long way of saying I don't think he'd have a problem fighting on Virgil Ortiz's undercard. I really don't think so.
But you're a man of words, supposedly. Opportunistic just seems seems
fighting
negative.
with me
So get
over-
your thesaurus, and there's another word that's actually positive.
That's a
that can be
positive word.
complement to a hungry fighter, not opportunistic. That just seems
You are
negative.
opportunistic because you're sitting here with me and listening to an audience of hundreds of thousands of people. So
No, you're the one that keeps begging me to be on your show because you know that I bring the ratings. And what's up with the sofa? See, look at how they're paying you now. You go to Living Spaces and get a brand new sofa for your show.
it's for YouTube.
I bring the numbers, baby.
We're on YouTube. You know that, right?